All right, we're streaming.
Yes.
Hell yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. All right. Let's get going, baby.
Welcome to Few Who Dare, the comprehensive and unofficial guide to the TV show Ice Road Truckers, where we recap and discuss all 138 episodes. I am Graham Gilson, and here with me is Jake Titus, and we are your pathfinders on this frozen journey. Jake, what's up, my dude?
Not much, Graham. That intro is hot shit. I'll tell you what.
It's
that's
good,
what's,
right?
Yeah, that's really good. Wow.
Came in hot with that.
It's very hot. I like it. Yeah.
I'm proud of it.
You look like you need a cool down or something.
Get me outside right now.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the big news from around these parts is a little polar vortex action, huh?
Yeah, it took us all of 10 seconds to get into how cold
about
it
this
is in
weather,
our neck
eh?
of the woods. Yeah, man.
It's
been cold.
Did you go out and experience it or anything? Did you?
You know, after what we talked about last week, I was like, I am going to be very brave in the cold.
Yeah.
And so I didn't wear as thick of a jacket as I normally would have.
Uh-huh.
So I was proud of that. Pretty, like a thick fleece-ish kind of with a vest over it. And normally I'd have like a parka,
Uh-huh.
big furry hood thing. I still had it in the car just in case. So
Of course.
I got stranded
Uh-huh.
in Minneapolis.
Nice.
I did go outside a little bit, but just life circumstances didn't get a ton of outside time. What about you?
Word. Yeah, I didn't really get any outside time either. I actually have been sort of edging towards doing a dip in Lake Harriet. There's apparently a big kind of bathing hole that some people have cut, but I didn't really want to do that when we were dealing with 20 below wind chills. So when it warms up a little bit, I think I'm going to give it a rip.
By bathing hole, you mean like a polar bear plunge. This is not like a warm water section of...
You are correct.
Okay, all right.
Indeed.
Have you done a polar bear plunge type of thing before?
Nope, never.
No, me either.
Mm-mm.
Do they have like a warming house set up, or are you just kind of figure out
No.
your way home?
They have been... I guess I don't know the exact interaction, but apparently the park police are not fans of this.
Oh.
I'm not sure for what reason. But
yeah, probably very little liability when something like this is happening.
I mean, is it any more than normal? Is it more than ice fishing? I don't know.
I mean, you don't go in the water during ice fishing.
I mean, you shouldn't, but who knows what happens in those huts, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Well, I need to clean up something from last episode because I did some research, and I think it is a raven.
It is?
I'm pretty sure it's a raven.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
you were what were we saying last episode? You thought it was a crow.
I thought it was a crow, and I believe I was wrong.
So you and TJ both thought it was a crow, and Discovery, or the History Channel, was correct.
That's right.
Okay.
Except TJ had the benefit of sort of first thought, best thought, honest mistake. And I was like, no, I'm sure the people whose job it is to make a sensible television program, they're wrong. And I'm right. And that's
you got out your
crow.
Sibley guidebook and looked through and like, no, that's definitely a crow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a crow. I mean, raven. It's a raven. Not lost in my own head here.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, should we just jump right in?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Episode 2, Destination Diamond Mine. I realized last episode we didn't ever say, like, the episode name.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, we continue to, like, upgrade, I think, our quantitative knowledge of this world.
Yes.
Because
yeah. Got a lot of good facts.
yes, a lot of tidbits, a lot of choice tidbits here. So we learned that the ice road is in its 26th year. So first thing I thought after hearing that was, that there's actually another tidbit related to deaths later. But, Graham, you observed last week that, like, well, so there must be at least 24 deaths if we're talking about, quote, dozens. So we are now, I had thought the ice road was around for longer, but now we're kind of getting more to a sort of like 1 a year level. So that sucks.
Yeah, the knowledge that we know, you and I at this moment, is there's probably around 1 a year. We find out a little bit more information later.
Yes, we do. I see that registered with you as well.
Yeah. Are we still in the intro again?
Are we still in the intro?
Sorry, no, of the show, not our podcast. The intro, like, it's. Did you learn that in the intro? Because I have an intro related thing.
Yeah, get that intro going. Yeah.
Rick Yem, who we get a lot of good Rick Yem in this episode, right? Rick is shirtless in the intro. He's in his truck, just shirtless, hanging out, and I love it. Tells you a lot about Rick.
Yeah, that's a very arresting, I think, shot in the intro sequence. It makes me, I feel like it really kind of inflects the rest of it. That before it's like, oh, it's big, heavy charge, very scary, important work. But then you're like, oh, maybe there's some party boys up in here.
Look at this cowboy.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they deliver on that promise.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Any more intro goodies?
No. I think we covered the intro quite well last ep. So
yes. So to follow up on one other thing from last episode, Jay's accent. I think I forgot really how incredibly amazing it is.
Yeah.
You had pointed out that his accent is really thick, and my God, is it? It is as thick as that road.
Yeah. Yeah, he has an incredible accent. He says something in this that will maybe come up later. Maybe he just every time he talks, I write it down because it's so funny.
It's really good. Yeah. Well, so I was really struck by the blowouts already. Because I guess I imagine that if this road needs to last for 60 days, and
yeah,
and I guess to preview a little bit, like this clear. I hope this isn't level loaded, because these guys are off to a slow start. Like the whole road operation's off to a slow start. If we're 1 week in and like this is all that's happened, except that they've fucking made these huge blowouts on the ice. I was like blown away by that. It's like, God, like I guess I would have imagined there'd be more sensitivity to that issue.
Yeah, they really go into that in this episode. A lot of like road maintenance stuff, which is like, I don't know what to think about the show still.
What do you mean?
Just like what my expectations are. Like, am I expecting to watch a show about an ice road, or about ice road truckers, or is it just the whole experience? Am I going to watch a show about the diamond mines at some point?
That's a good point.
They touched the tentacles are just going a little bit everywhere in this second episode,
and at the same time nowhere. Like really, the show should be called Ice Road Trucking, because they're sort of avoiding getting like this. We're kind of staying above the surface of the ice. I feel like there's some juicy meat down there that we could get if there would be more of a commitment to just like follow a direction.
You mean like specifically the characters in the show, or just
anything?
Just
you
pick
know?
a thing.
Yeah, truly. Like we could go way deeper on like the psychology of what it's like to do this. We could go way deeper on like what happens to the shit that they bring, and like what it's like to be in these diamond mines and everything.
Yeah.
You know, we could go deeper on like just the culture of like the North and this part of the North that we're seeing.
Yeah. I'm kind of, I guess, now that we're talking, I'm starting to give the show a little bit of benefit of the doubt, thinking that like maybe they just have to get through a lot of information. Like they have to get a lot of information across to the viewers because it's going to get referenced later on.
Fair.
Like in order for you to enjoy the show when they're like, oh, I don't know, what's something that we learned about in this episode? Some of the divers, and they, you know, they have to do a dive for a truck or something like that. So they have to introduce that now in the second episode, along with everything else they put into this episode.
Anything?
Yes. Fixed it.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I'll leave that part in the edited version.
All right, perfect. Yeah.
Good. So I was just saying, I did have to, of course, make a note of my. Figure anything out here.
There, that fixed it again.
Okay, I did
Are you
not.
doing anything?
Nope. Negative.
What's going on?
Do you think the ice road's trying to get in here?
Maybe that's what's up.
Maybe. Maybe Rick Fitch doesn't like me talking about him.
I guess so, man. Is that what we're discussing? I missed all of it.
Just a little kind of jelly bean of joy, as I of course had to take note of when my new hero, Rick Fitch, announces just another sunny day in downtown Yellowknife. Oh boy, howdy, this is flummoxing, folks, huh? Howdy?
Nothing.
No.
I just checked like a YouTube video to make sure sound was working on other things.
Okay, so I mean no.
I literally nothing.
I will leave
Check.
again.
I can hear myself.
Can can you hear me? No.
Maybe try like unplugging and replugging your mic. Did you already do that?
Something sound bad when you do that?
It doesn't sound. Don't hear anything.
What about now?
There you go. Perfect.
Huh. And still hearing me now?
Yep.
That's so crazy. Huh. Well, I'm glad it's working.
Okay. Hopefully it stays
Fuck
working.
Yeah. Fucking sick. All right.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
Woo! Here we go. Nice. Alrighty. So, let's see here.
Should we hop back in?
Yeah, let's hop back in.
All right, you were telling me about Rick Fitch.
I mean, I gotta appreciate every time that Rick Fitch gives us one of these amazing nuggets. So my new hero gives us just a little bit of color commentary. Just another sunny day in downtown Yellowknife. Beautiful.
He's just a good soul.
He is. He is a good soul.
He's definitely the better of the two Ricks on the show.
Oh my god. Is he? I don't have the same animosity toward Rick that you do.
We are an anti-Rick Yem podcast.
You keep saying this.
This guy. We hate him. I don't.
I mean, I will say, he again in this episode has to like stop and like redo his straps. And he was the dude that had to do it in like the first episode too, when he was out without a jacket on.
Yeah.
I was like, bud, are you open to some feedback? Can we give you a note?
just yeah. Come on, a little preparation.
Right.
Yeah. So we got Jay. I think you already talked a little bit about Jay, but we got him early on in the episode too. And so we saw that I'm just so confused with the timelines. Both
the timelines are actually fucked up. You are correct.
Right. Like I feel like I'm being lied to by the show, basically.
Yes, 100%.
So we see Jay, and he says that he left at midnight, and it's 9:30 a.m. So 9.5 hours when we meted him. He's almost to Lockhart, which is the name of a rest stop on the way to De Beers diamond mine. De Beers is the first of 3 diamond mines.
Yes.
And we learned in the last episode that's a 350-mile total journey. So it took him 9.5 hours. I mean, granted, he's hauling like the biggest tube you've ever seen. But it took him 9.5 hours. It seems like to go about 100 miles.
Yes.
And then, so not only is that sort of the timeline of that is confusing to me, like the actual time it takes him to get from place to place. Oh, sorry, 9.5 hours to get to the rest stop, which is halfway to his final destination.
Yes.
They never say anything about driving back. So I just don't. And so not only is that that timeline all fucked in my brain, throughout this episode, we get updates of like, oh, this is his 4th trip. And we start the episode and we're told that it's Jay's first.
Yes. So they start the episode by saying we're 8 days in, and then they say that quote earlier this morning is when TJ was on his first run. So I think some things got messed up in editing because the points in time that they reference do not track. Does not make sense.
Yeah, not at all. And certainly it's becoming clear to me that we care more about this than any viewer, producer, or editor of this show ever has. This is not designed for anybody to give a shit about.
No. This is like Emily in Paris, but like Alt EF Emily truckers.
Yeah. Oh god. All right.
Yeah. I'm glad you noticed that too, because that was like super fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I also feel like I didn't understand Rick's job in the last episode, but they kind of went over it again, and now I get it. And he seems like, I mean, he's the boss. He's the guy who organizes everything. I like Rick. I like Rick. Rick Fitch.
Rick Fitch.
Yeah.
You can shorten it to Rich.
Yeah, I like Rich.
That's how we'll differentiate him from bad Rick.
Yeah. Yeah. Rem. Rick Yam. You got Rich and Rem.
Oh man. So my next notes were all around Hugh.
Yeah.
So multiple times in this episode, they refer to him as the polar bear or talk about how other people refer to him as the polar bear. And I think in hindsight, I maybe remember that hearing that like once from the first episode.
Yeah.
But this time they are like hitting that hard. And I wonder, does he call himself the polar bear? Like, does he like that?
Does he say like people call me the polar bear?
I don't think we ever hear him talk about that.
Okay. I'll have to pay attention to that in future episodes. It's definitely not going away.
They're investing a lot in it.
Yeah,
they're investing more in that
certainly
than letting us know what times things happen. So, yeah. So then we do learn that like Hugh did 41 loads last year, and that's his record.
Yeah.
And now he's trying for 50.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a short season last time. So like if he just gets a normal length season, then like presumably he can be like, all right, same pace, just keep it up. But like, man, that's a jump.
Yeah, he's really shooting for the moon.
Yes.
It was a short season last season.
Yes.
They did mention that the first episode, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah, because they had some equipment, including the largest tube you've ever seen that Jay is working on, that should have gotten brought up the prior year, but they couldn't.
Yeah. They also tell us how much he made with his 41. So did you? We learned that it's approximately $75,000.
If you were to do, well, I think that's if he were to do 50. Yeah, exactly.
So did you do the math on that?
Dog, you know I did.
Oh, I know you did.
So,
Let's hear it.
Well, so that is 1,500 a run.
Uh-huh.
But when we are then seeing Hugh kind of check in on getting his transmission repaired, they say that he will lose $1,400 by virtue of not being able to do a run. So I think the Discovery Channel plays pretty fast and loose with numbers and rounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my conclusion. And it's clearly a more complicated arrangement than that, but, you know, I guess it's probably good enough for us to ballpark some information here.
Yeah. I also am wondering, like, because we see dollar amounts at the end of the episode too, not to jump too far ahead, but it is very unclear to me whether it has to do with the weight that they're hauling, the distance they go, or just the number of runs. But the numbers that the scoreboard. Okay,
we got to talk about the scoreboard. We got to talk about this fucking scoreboard.
Can we jump ahead right
Yes.
now to the scoreboard? That scoreboard made no sense. Like all
it's
of a
the
sudden,
most busted Truly.
all of a sudden, like last time, it was just like name, number completed. Now it's like name. God, I have to go back down and look.
It's name, it's tons hauled,
Yeah,
and it's estimated cash.
there's no number of runs. They just fucking gave up on it.
They were like, "Oh, guys, that wasn't very good last episode. We got to change it up here."
What are they doing? God damn it.
My God, just the data integrity. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's incredible. But so, you know, what we do learn from that, I think what that implies to me is that by the end of week 2, after 14 days, these drivers have each done between 5 and 8 loads. Like the weight seems like a total red herring because we've seen wildly varying like weights.
Yeah.
You know, but if we're using this figure of like $1,400 a run, like that does help us ballpark it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so by 2 weeks in, really they should be 25% of the way. They're 25% of the way through the season.
Yeah.
Right? So I would be looking for seeing like 12 runs and $18,000. And like no one is close to that.
No, not at all. Again, I really do think that they are just, like you said, playing fast and loose with timelines here. Like, did they say specifically this is at the end of 2 weeks? Is each episode a week?
Well, I'm kind of wondering this because if so, that would be a very clever way to do it. But like they don't spend very much time kind of building these narratives around like a week.
Yeah.
So the scoreboard at the end of episode 2 is after 14 days of work.
Okay.
But like I'll be honest, I couldn't fucking tell you what happened during the prior week based on what I saw. It looks like 2 things happened.
Yeah. The first episode was like a day in the life, and then the second episode is like I mean, yeah, I thought the first episode covered, I mean, from the time that the ice road opened, like we saw a bunch of prep work, but from the time it opened, it looked to me like we maybe got 36 hours of coverage. So then we just that's kind of what I would have said.
Yeah, so then we jump ahead and like TJ is apparently still driving back. And Jay's still on the road, and Hugh's truck is still in the shop. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
I think the Discovery Channel logged out of the game and just, like, waited for 6 days and then logged back in.
You think they send their, like, the whole crew is like, it's too cold, just go home, take the week off, we'll check back in, see how everybody's doing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, I will say they did do a nice job with Hugh, where they set this all up where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get 50 loads this season. And they show how much money is, and then it's like, but then next thing you know, it's like, oh, his transmission's fucked. So they did a nice job building it up, and then nope, he's fucked. So, and then we learn about the ice in the lines. I guess there are lines necessary for transmission. Learned that. And you can get water in them somehow. And if it gets too cold, that becomes ice. And then they showed, maybe it's later on, they showed like a little CGI of like air running into the ice in the tube, and like you can't shift because it's blocked and they're pneumatic.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I don't. The interesting thing was that they were like, okay, the way to fix it is you use this stuff called methyl hydrate. And so you're supposed to pour it in the line, and then he, I guess, is like getting desperate because he's going to miss his tea time. And they're like, methyl hydrate is poisonous. And it shows him like blowing it in. It's like, and God, what was his line? It's like, oh, it tastes worse than a beer, or nothing like drinking a beer. He's like, they just said how it's poisonous. Man.
Yeah. Hugh. And they really tried to they tried to make a lot of hay out of the fact that Hugh originally blamed Rick. Like, Hugh misdiagnosed his issue. And he thought it was Rick's fault for not properly inspecting these lines. But it turns out that was not it at all.
Nope.
Which Rick like kind of immediately cops to. I will say it did feel pretty shitty when Hugh, with zero reason to think it was just like, it's fucking Rick's fault, I bet.
Here are my notes. He said, well, first of all, so he's blaming Rick. Because it's Rick's job to blow all the air out of, or all the water out of all these lines before they ever, get in the trucks. He's, I guess, the employee, and he's supposed to check them. So while Rick is saying this, while Hugh is saying how it's Rick's job, they show Rick standing there with a bottle of Fireball, doing like a Vanna White with a bottle of like Fireball.
Wait, is that what it was?
Yeah, it was Fireball.
Oh my God.
Is that whiskey? I don't even know what that. It's like a flavored.
You seriously don't know what Fireball is?
I've had it.
Okay.
I just don't know what type of liquor it is.
It is. It is a flavored whiskey.
Gross.
Mm-hmm. At least as of like 8 years ago, something like that, it was the #1 selling flavored whiskey in the gas station and convenience store channel.
Oh man. So he's standing there with that bottle, and he's got a shit-eating grin on his face.
He looked like he was having a fun time.
And then it cuts back to Hugh blaming him, and Hugh's like, says he did it, and there's water in it. It's like that's all of Hugh's evidence is. He says he did it, and there's water in it.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, the problem is Hugh, so they flash a big like red busted stamp on Hugh's face, but it's like, you love Hugh. Like, no, like they should have done that to fucking Drew when he drove off the road last time.
Yeah. Also, I don't know, like, in what way is he busted? It's not like he was doing something wrong. He just was wrong.
Yeah,
he wasn't like purposefully being like. It's not like he fucked up the line and blamed it on
That'd be amazing if we see like a grainy hidden camera shot of Hugh like fucking up his own lines.
Yeah, I didn't understand the busted, but they made a big deal out of it.
They really did. Oh man. And then, so to connect this with Rick again, they talk about how Hugh had to give his tea time to Rick, who they refer to as Hugh's top driver.
Yeah.
So sorry, Alex, the one who's been doing this for like 25 years and lives in Yellowknife, he's not Hugh's top driver?
I don't think Alex is Hugh's driver at all, is he? I think Alex is his own.
Oh, really? I thought all these dudes were like on the same crew.
My understanding is there are 3 on the same crew. I think Hugh has Rick, and he has the new guy, Drew. I think, didn't Drew join with Hugh?
Hugh's crew is Rick and Drew?
I think so. Unless
Hugh,
either
God.
Drew or TJ, one of them, it's one of the two.
That's rough. That's rough.
The two.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
So and am I
Two
wrong?
biggest shitheads he could.
I mean, am I wrong, or do we not even see Drew in this episode?
I can't remember him.
I don't
have a single note about him.
I don't think we saw or heard him referred to. In this episode, there is a Drew-sized hole.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot remember him at all in this episode.
Yeah, so I'm really curious now. I think one of two things will happen. Later on, either we're going to learn that he bailed out and left, or in like episode 5, the narrator will be like, Drew's returning from his first trip up north. Oh no!
Yeah, it's gone again.
I'll leave and come back. How about this?
Can you hear it?
No. What are you hearing? What do you Hello?
There we go.
So, is there like a ugly sound that you hear when I rejoin?
A really terrible sound.
What does it sound like?
Do you want me to try to make it?
Yes, please.
Something like that. Guessing it's something with your mic, maybe? Or something with, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. More information.
But it seems like
more information.
unplugging and replugging something in worked.
That's good.
So,
Whew.
if you see me do this,
that means
that's a sign
shit
to just
fucked.
plug and, unplug and plug it.
Cool.
Hopefully we won't have to, like, edit more out if we just do that.
Awesome. Let's see here. So we're talking about how we don't fucking hear about Drew at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So I think either we're gonna learn he just left, or on like episode 5, the narrator's gonna be like, Drew's returning from his first trip up north. Like another time jump thing.
We'll just get like a whole Drew episode halfway through, probably. Because the way that they're doing, the narratives in this just, it makes no sense. Because they're totally jumping around with like, different people are at different runs. I feel like somebody's at like run 2, and then all of a sudden they jump to somebody else and they're at run 12 or something. I don't know.
It's super messed up. It's super messed up.
Some I'm just gonna have to live with for a bit.
Bev, check what you drink in there.
Ooh, this is a lake monster empty rowboat.
Ooh, nice.
I was working with Castle Danger Red Ale.
Excellent. Fucking sick.
Yeah, man. Um,
Aren't you still hear me now?
yeah, you're
Okay,
good.
cool.
You're good. I just didn't have anything to say.
Yeah, no, on this end, it
What's-
like cycled through changing a whole bunch of microphone things. So I was just confirming it still worked.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I gotcha. Do
Word.
you have a bev there? What's your bev check?
Yeah, I'm rocking a grapefruit sparkling water from Jeff's Place.
Nice.
Uh-huh. Lake Monster has
Oh,
a rad
good to know.
space.
Yeah,
those
man,
of
I love it
you-
there.
In the Minneapolis region. Awesome place to hang, indoor and outdoor.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like Lake Monster. One of my favorite local brewery hangout spots.
Word.
And sometime we should talk. We'll do a offshoot podcast about local brewery places.
Yeah?
We don't need to bring that on here though. I'll talk for hours.
Oh man. So my next, I guess, spade of notes is about the father of the ice road.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited about this.
Yeah. So this is John Zigarlik.
John Zagarlik. Such a good name.
That's a very good name. Yeah, so I guess we learn a lot from here from this gentleman who seems quite modest about what seems like a pretty impressive accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like the president of Nuna Logistics, right? And
Yes.
so Nuna Logistics is who operates and maintains the whole ice road.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay.
That's right. Also, Nuna, is that just like great internet video craze from a while ago, right? Maya he, Maya ho. You know that
That's
one?
called Nuna? I know, I've heard it. Didn't know
I think it's actually Numa.
Oh,
Numa.
gotcha.
That was a joke for all the 40-year-olds watching.
I like it.
So the thing I thought was weird about this was we're talking about how this road is like meant to service these. They just keep referring to them as billion-dollar diamond mines.
Yep.
Who knows what exactly that refers to? But clearly big open pit mines, I guess. And they talk about how if a truck goes through the ice, it's like a huge environmental deal because of the like fuel in the truck, and it's like.
Yeah.
Can we have a little bit of a sense of perspective here? I don't think that one truck is really kind of the impact that we should be concerned about.
These enormous diamond mines.
Yeah, like, you know what? I bet the fuel's fine.
Yeah. Run by De Beers, which at least one of them is run by De Beers, which I feel like I can confidently say, based on zero research, that their history is probably a little checkered with diamond mining, especially in Africa.
Yeah, especially South Africa.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right about that. Yeah. I mean, so if we did do an offshoot podcast about beers, we'd have to make some kind of a De Beers pun, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man.
I don't know what that pun would be, but it's like when astronomers can kind of triangulate, like, there should be a planet in this region. We've inferred, like, I can infer that there's a De Beers pun there.
We don't have to figure it out right now.
Yeah, that'll be for
But-
those who come after.
It's clearly it exists. We're just not. Our mind isn't in that zone at the moment.
Yeah, we're the Einsteins that can tell this is true, and it will take decades for someone to prove it. Oh man! So this is where we also learn a not very fun sort of fact about mortality.
Yeah. Real quick first,
Yeah.
John Zagar. Like, I just want to say, we've already sung his praises a little bit. He seems very impressive. He also is wearing a very appropriate jacket,
Yes.
which you don't see a lot of in this show.
John Zagarlik, sensible.
Yeah. He is dressed for the occasion.
Yes, he is.
He's got a thick jacket that has fur, like, around the hood, like you would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was impressed with him. Just the jacket alone. I was like, yeah, this is what I would wear.
Absolutely.
Why is nobody else doing this? I think he was even wearing gloves. It's like the first guy on the show to wear gloves.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so I'm guessing, so the mortality thing, so this is the head of the Arctic divers.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So we have a pretty boring introduction to their like new recruit. I wrote down his name, even though we will never see this guy again. His name is Steve Heb. It's like, this is his first dive through the ice. Their whole job is to like go down and salvage stuff if needed, or like if something goes through the ice, they're the ones who go down and get it. So like, if you lose your iPhone through the ice, so I'll dive down there and grab it for you. We learned that you don't wear a wetsuit, you wear a dry suit, and that's the only interesting thing I got out of him going in the ice. He stayed warm enough.
Yeah, that kid looked like they just picked him up from like a shopping mall in California. He did not seem to fit in. And so it seemed, so that was his first dive. He just got hired on, and that was his first dive with them. I presume not first dive ever, but with the company.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was just like, yep, we're going to have you suit up and get in the water and come back out. We just want to make sure, I don't know what.
Yeah, make sure that...
Let's get some reps in, I guess.
Yeah, like, you know how to breathe through the mask or something. We've seen you do it in warm water. Can you do it in cold?
Yeah. So the supervisor.
Yeah, and so, but then we do meet the head of the Arctic divers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I have his name as Wayne something. Again, I don't know if we'll ever meet him again.
I admire that you did write their names down, though, because I also thought, I don't think we're going to ever see them again. And as a consequence, I did not write down anything.
So do you want me to read the line he says? That's
absolutely
kind of upsetting.
Yes.
So we meet him, and I don't know, he's talking about some bullshit, and then he said, probably the total amount of victims I've recovered is 39. Probably the total is 39. It sounded like he knew damn well how many people he's pulled out of the water.
Yeah, so we went from, quote, dozens, which we inferred meant at least 24, to this one guy saying he personally has recovered 39 bodies.
Yeah.
And he's just dealing with shit that goes under the ice. There probably have been people who have died not under the ice, too.
You have to assume there are other dangers than just going under the ice.
So if you are like an editor and you're deciding how are we going to quickly convey the number scale here, so we go probably like one, a couple, a few, several, 10, more than a dozen, dozens. What's the next number? Like, what's the upper bound of this? Is it 100?
Like scores? Scores of dead bodies.
I mean,
I think that's.
I mean, we're already for sure exceeding scores because if Wayne has recovered 39 and scores is at least 40, we're there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
My goodness.
yeah, I'm
I kind
becoming.
of want the show to be like, listen, this is how many people have died doing this job.
Yeah. Like, I would almost think that would be a really important part of them sort of like earning the reputation of danger.
Yeah.
You know, like, I thought they kind of did that with Deadliest Catch. And here, it's clear that this is, like, really extreme. And I guess what's weird is, like, it seems like this is also quite deadly. But they didn't call it, like, the world's deadliest road or something. They're just like, it's super cold up there, man. By the way, so many people have died. Dude, so many people.
Yeah, it seems like they would have just called the show, like, Deadliest Road.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of burying the lead, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so curious whether or not we will... Am I going to say goodbye to fucking Drew at some point? which one of these guys is dead now? I don't know.
Speaking of saying goodbye to people, so I don't remember exactly when this happens in the episode, but TJ, the like young guy who saw the amazing Raven last episode, they sort of imply that he might be calling it quits.
I think that's right at the end. Because
Okay.
his heater, right? He's having issues with like the heat in his cab, and it's like he says it's too cold, and he's like losing motivation.
That's right.
And they may even do like a little voiceover, like, "Is TJ gonna make it?" So,
Okay, yeah, I guess that is right at the end. I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest, because it seemed like TJ's experience on this first trip was sort of like being super scared and super freaked out, but then like doing it and kind of having this euphoric like fuck yeah moment. So
yeah, with the
I thought he
Raven,
got
and he
bit
was
by
like,
the bug.
yeah. He definitely, earlier on, I have a note where he says that he's back for more, and he has no second thoughts. But then the truck gets cold, and he's like, I have some
Fuck
second
this.
thoughts about this.
Oh man.
Yeah, what else do we have in this episode? We see some of Alex.
We do.
He had some right. I have. I guess I kind of got bored during this episode, and then Alex showed up, and I have like in all caps, Alex, yes. And the first line he says is good. You know the good thing about this weather, you can see your breath, so you know you're still breathing.
Classic Alex.
Yeah, it's good.
Classic Alex. So ride or die for Hugh or Alex, right? And I think Hugh has the other stellar line, which is when his truck maybe has gotten fixed, and he's firing it up to see if it in fact has. He says, "Cross everybody's nuts."
I wrote that down too. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I've never really thought of that before.
I feel like he made that up in the moment and probably walked away like, what the fuck did I just say? Because that is not a saying.
No, but I tell you what, I'm here for it. I'm loving it. Cross everybody's nuts, man.
All right, everybody, cross your nuts. But he didn't even say it like that. He just said,
Right?
cross everybody's nuts.
Oh, man. I mean, I like your delivery with some, like, Randy Quaid and Independence Day energy. Very good.
Yeah, I wish I could do. I should have thought more about the accents because all these lines sound better in their accents. I mean, that's so much of the delivery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alack. We do not have them.
Well, I have some other just kind of notes scattered around.
Yeah.
Let me just do a little scatter shot here.
Go for it.
Rick Yem. We get a lot of Rick Yem in this episode.
Yeah, we do.
He so we see him in the car and he's saying, I don't know, just a bunch of Rick Yem shit. But I wrote down, is he dipping or does he have a speech impediment? You don't have to answer right now, but pay attention in the future and try to figure out if he is just constantly dipping or if he just, like, I don't know, talks funny or his mouth is shaped funny. But
okay.
So anyway, he is heading up the most treacherous stretch of the entire road. Charlie's Hill, he's heading up. And right as he starts getting there, there's this voiceover that is whatever. It's talking about Charlie's Hill, and then this music starts playing. Did you happen to realize?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna play it for you.
Okay.
And just listen to how freaking sick.
Must pass over the most treacherous stretch of the entire road, Charlie's Hill. It takes one thing to get a 20-ton rig up the slope and through the turns. Momentum. You gotta learn to give her. Put the foot down. Don't be scared.
Oh my god.
That music choice was so fucking good.
How did I not notice that?
I watched it a few times. I think I didn't even notice it the first time, but I went back to watch it again, just because of like I was trying to remember like what the name of the hill was or something, and then I realized it sounds like they got 9 Inch Nails to go in and do like just this sick.
That's a fucking
song.
banger.
Yeah. So they put that song in, and then he just like gets up the hill, no sweat.
Yeah, truly.
But so I was like, oh well, that's anticlimactic. But then immediately after that, the whole story is that a truck right after him gets stuck on Charlie's Hill, and so did you write any notes down about this?
No.
The guy getting stuck there. Okay. Yeah. So
I remember it, but I didn't write anything down.
He gets stuck, and that causes 5 miles of trucks backed up behind him, and they're all like just idling on the ice, which I thought you aren't allowed to do based on last episode, but I guess it's fine. But so this guy is stuck up there, and then so they put chains on his truck, thinking that he can pull himself out, and he immediately just like digs a hole like 3 feet deep.
Yeah. That did not seem
like a trench, just 3 feet deep. Whatever, they get like another thing and pull him out. And then, oh, that's right. So I don't think I wrote it down, but I think Hugh has this line later on because he has to go up the hill or something, and they started advising everyone to put chains on the truck. And he was like, I've never put chains on before, and I am not about to start now for some fucking idiot's bad idea or something. It's a pretty sick line about like, yeah, I'm not putting chains on my truck.
I think he said he would instead pull over and go to sleep, which I did totally track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that was not the most skillful sort of attempt to like put the chains on and get going. It was like, well, this is obviously not working. We better just fucking gouge up this road, though.
You made it like so much worse.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. That looked like a harried gentleman.
Yeah. Did you understand why like they couldn't just back down the hill? Am I missing something?
Well, I was thinking about that, and I think because it was actually like a two-segment truck, it sort of, so it would sort of continue to like bend if they just, especially since, he sort of lost traction already.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I was sort of curious about like, could they have tried to pull him back down, or yeah, I was sort of curious if they could like pull him back down, or do anything other than just like wait for this grader to come.
Yeah, like get another truck to rope onto the back end and just, it's all ice, right? Should be able to slip the back end around. I don't know. The fuck do I know?
Same boat, man. Same boat.
They have not. They also never mentioned whether or not the tires are special in any way. Like, are they using studded tires or?
Interesting.
Seems like you would want some sort of, at least, special ice tires or studded tires for the ice, but they don't mention it ever.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Not so far.
I wonder if that would just like tear up the ice road.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're illegal in a lot of places because they fuck up the road.
Yeah. Interesting.
Like here in Minnesota, you cannot, it's illegal to use them. At least on like, normal roads, maybe back roads or something you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, terminology wise, I noticed a number of people in this episode referred to it as the winter road, not the ice road.
The winter road.
Uh-huh. I'm sort of curious if that's an intentional choice or if they really are just interchangeable.
I didn't pick up on that, but I'll look out for it in the future.
We'll see.
Yeah, the winter road. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it sounds badass.
Yeah. Maybe we should, start referring to it as a winter road.
Uh-huh.
Winter road truckers. I like it.
Doesn't really work as well for the name of the show, I guess.
Nope. It's not as descriptive.
Uh-huh.
All right, and so real close to the end of the episode, I think it's like the last thing they did before the scoreboard is they show Rick, because he's trying to get back on the road and make some money.
Yep.
And he has to fix something in his truck. Oh, he's blowing out the lines of his transmission, right? And the voiceover guy comes on and says, discoloring of the skin is an early sign of frostbite. And then it zooms in on Rick's hands because he's like, I guess you can't wear gloves while you're doing this. And his hands are real purple.
Did you notice there's also this woman sort of chilling in the background of a bunch of those shots?
No.
Yeah, she keeps moving out of the way to not be caught in the line of the camera, but like just a very chill looking woman who seems like she's probably just like chatting with Rick. That has to stand around now and watch these guys film him.
Oh, I was wondering, like, maybe it's like one of the like camera crew people.
I don't think
like
so.
A boom operator. Okay. It's just like his girlfriend's with him. Or just some lady.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting scene because, I mean, I think we are starting to see what the fatigue looks like. And Rick cops to it too, because he's like, this is where I get pissed off. I'm like tired, I'm cold, I like want to get going, and he just like doesn't have the fine dexterity to be able to like put these lines back together or something. I was like, well, That doesn't seem like a great mindset to be like to setting off with another load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I have kids. I've been pretty damn tired. But I'm not sure I've been so tired that like my fingers are all fucked up. I mean, it's also cold,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. You do have to be pretty tired to like not be able to like do kind of a simple manual task that you'd be able to do when you're, fully well slept.
Yeah, and in particular, I think just the like commitment to like, well, this isn't working. I better just keep doing it.
Certainly, you don't want to be getting back on the road if you're.
Yeah. So
Or
I'm
if you
really
are, you
interested
want
to
some.
see.
You want some good amphetamines if you're if you're thinking about getting on the road in that state.
Truly. Yeah. So I'm interested to see like if we see more of that, and if which I don't know, I imagine could be like kind of controversial to really depict, because I think in places that have a lot of truck traffic, I even think of just like rural Minnesota in sugar beet season. There's a window of time, and you got to just do as many loads as you can. And at a minimum, there's a lot of exhausted truckers on the road. Some of them may be using amphetamines or whatever. And so I think that creates some tension between people who live there, and the truckers.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see like how much are they gonna sort of get into showing just how kind of dangerous this can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And like kind of that the fatigue side of it will be interesting to me. Also, what are sugar beets? Are they just normal beets? Is this like a Minnesota thing that I don't know about yet?
It is a Minnesota thing you don't know about yet. Yeah, so
All right.
sugar beets are like a pretty significant cash crop in Minnesota.
Really?
So they are beets that have a really high sugar content, and they're actually one of the main sources of sugar in the U.S. So the American Crystal Sugar Company is actually a pretty big kind of player around here. They source a lot of sugar beets, and so this I'm trying to recall, and I might not get it totally right, but I think that basically you harvest sugar beets in between the first frost and when the ground freezes, so you can't really get them out anymore.
Okay.
And so farmers are pulling them up, and then they all get trucked to these huge sugar beet processing like mills, and they'll actually just pile up the sugar beets on the ground and let them freeze over the winter.
Sure.
And that's kind of a virtue of growing them in Minnesota, that like you don't have to really build any storage or anything.
Yeah.
But because it's a narrow window, they're the guys who are driving trucks in between the farms and the processing plants are just doing as many trips as they can until the ground freezes up.
Wow. Can you like buy sugar beets to eat, or is it only going to sugar places?
That's an interesting question.
You don't have to be like the holder of all knowledge on sugar beets, but I also didn't realize that like I guess I thought all sugar like came from sugar cane. I didn't realize you could just grab sugar from anything. Like, do they package it as beet sugar, or it's just their normal crystal sugar?
It's not identified as beet sugar. So sugar beets can be consumed raw when young. You can grate them into salads. You can cook them, and almost treat them like potatoes.
Sweet.
So you must be able to buy. I've certainly never seen sugar beets just in the store, but now I'm going to keep my eye out.
I also feel like, I mean, couldn't Couldn't this company just use like different fruits? Why they gotta use a vegetable? Like, it seems like if you're looking for high sugar content.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's an interesting
Maybe it just
question.
freezes better or something. The fuck do I know? I'm not an ice road trucker or a sugar beet farmer.
You're an outsider, man. That's why you're primed to come in and disrupt this shit.
Yeah, man. So my name's Graham Gilson. I'm here to disrupt the sugar beet farming industry.
Oh, man. Well, I think that's all I've got on this episode.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it was a little bit unsatisfying. It seemed like, you know, we learned a ton in the first episode, but, like, we don't really know enough to be super invested in any, like, drama or suspense yet.
Yeah, they really laid on the like information in this episode. Not as much like character investment. It's just like, you know, we gotta teach you about the divers and the Nuna logistics and
But not
the diamond
times or numbers. We're not going to share any of that. I will take it to my grave.
nothing we tell you is going to be accurate at all.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I guess should we wrap up until next week then?
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Next week, episode 3. I don't know the name of the episode, otherwise I'd throw it at you right now.
I would like to say a big thank you to the folks who have started listening. We really appreciate that. We're committed to the full run here. We're glad you're interested in joining us. So if you enjoy it, tell a friend.
Yeah. Follow us on the places we exist. We are on Instagram and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can stream this. That's my understanding.
You can stream this. Yeah, so we're gonna try to be consistent. We'll see how this goes. We stream and record on Tuesdays, roundabouts 8:30 Central Time, and then gonna try to get episodes up reliably for Thursday mornings.
Yeah, we're doing it. We are, about 1.5% of the way through the entire run. Yeah. So, listen, hey, I'm consistent with my statistics, so we're
Reliable.
2 out of 138. That's about 1.5% in my book.
You're a real John Zagarlik of statistics.
That's right.
Sensible, grounded. All right. Well, Graham, you want to take us out with that trademark line?
Oh, yeah. Hang loose and keep on ice road trucking.
And all right, the stream has